I'm from Texas, even though I live in the godforsaken state that is Arizona. I'm not actually from Arizona. I'm on my way back home right now for winter break. It's probably very loud. I finished my finals this past week, and if you haven't seen my finals video, then you should go watch that. I will link it above or below or something. I will link it somewhere. But honestly, I am still exhausted from that. It was just one of those things where like I worked so hard and it felt like it was for nothing. Like I had to work hard and I had to get my projects finished and like, you know, complete everything for finals. But honestly, like they just came in, they looked at our work briefly, asked us some questions, and that was it, and it was over. That was basically what I stressed about for like an entire week. I'm just kind of exhausted now. I'm like trying to get back to myself. It's weird. Whenever I get really stressed, I seem to like lose my ability to like cope with problems and like be a normal human who like takes care of themselves. So I'm trying not to do that. I'm just gonna go back to listening to the Tiny Meat Gang podcast, and I will talk to you guys when I get there. It's 4:30 in the morning. Duncan woke me up at 3:30 this morning to go to the restroom. There he is. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna stay up and I'm just gonna hit the road. So I got ready and I'm ready to leave. So we'll be hitting the road shortly. I feel like I've been driving for forever. It's now like noon-ish. So I figured to spice up this drive, we could listen to some music and I could go over some of my favorite songs from 2019 because that Spotify Top Songs of 2019 playlist just dropped. Actually, it didn't just drop, like I've had it for a while. And I know that like all these songs are copyrighted, but you know what? I'm not monetized anyways, so fuck it. So let's just jump into it. Honey, I'm wholesome, but are we snacking for? I'm just a hobo, it's only natural. I don't know why, for me, like it gives me self-deprecating vibes. There's the line that's like, I'm just a whore, it's only natural, and stop moving camera, sheesh. And so I feel like I kind of just like related to that line. Oh my god, stop moving. Oh. Wow, and we're still recording. It's like a very catchy, fun song, but I also think that it's very like real in a way. Like there's some grit to it. I'm also very late to the game with Gus Dapperton. I feel like everyone got into his music like 2 years ago and I just got into it this year. But honestly, one of my favorite artists of the year. I can't help it with you. There's nothing I cannot like the way you move. My mind in two. Disco. Talk about a fucking banger. This was the song of my summer. The song of my entire year, honestly. It's just so sweet and wholesome. It's so catchy too. Like you can dance to it, but it's also like very romantic and sweet. It's just about like wanting to dance with someone. That whole album, the Heaven Surrounds You album by Surf Curse, is an amazing album. I've listened to that through and through. Honestly, okay, wait. Top 3 albums of this year. My number 1 album is Heaven Surrounds You by Surf Curse, for sure. And then number 2, which is like a very close second, is the Nothing Happens album by Wallows. That one was amazing. I listened to that all spring. Like that was what got me through finals last semester. An amazing album. My third top 3 album is Yes, 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 Yeah. It's 5 yeses by Honey. If you know me, like personally, you know, like Honey is my absolute favorite band ever. I just love them. I love all their stuff. And like this album, it wasn't bad by any means. It just was, it was very consistent with what they put out, which is why it wasn't like number 1 for me, because it wasn't anything like super new and exciting, but it was very on par with like their new sound that they've been going for with their previous 2 EPs. So like it made sense, and it was, I love all the songs on the album, but there wasn't any one song in particular that was like, oh wow, like this is just like disco. It wasn't a fucking banger. So that's why I have to rank it number 3. This year was a really good year for music. I don't know why, but like everyone put out music this year. All these bands that like disappeared for like 5 years put out an album. Like Vampire Weekend put out an album. Like there's so many different bands that are just releasing new music that like were staples of my angsty teenhood. So I'm really glad to see a bunch of good music by a lot of like classic indie bands this year. So Goth Babe is like, their sound has changed a lot. I think it's just one guy. The name Goth Babe implies like a very angsty type of sound, you know, and like that's kind of what his music was. It was like that grungy surf rock, angsty teen music, that kind of like early surf curse. And then it kind of changed. It got a little more like, I don't want to say EDM, but it got like a little more electronic, I guess. But it's still good. Like I still love both his early stuff and his new stuff. And this song was like definitely one of my favorite songs this summer. So catchy. Like I had a period this summer where I was kind of like down and out, and then I like did a 180, like turned my life around. I was like, oh my god, I'm so happy, yay. And this song like totally symbolizes that moment, like when I turned my life around. I like heard this song in like that same week. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna be happy, I'm gonna start focusing on myself, I'm gonna do it. But it's just like such a good song. I guess I knew this would happen to you. Baby, I've been there before, waiting for what once was. I love that song so much. It was so cute. It's such like a dreamy, romantic song, you know? It makes me feel like nostalgic, but also like, oh, you know, something could happen, like maybe with my ex. Ooh, can't keep this camera up. It keeps moving. It keeps it moving and grooving. Like I have very mixed feelings like listening to Hers now, because I was there at that concert, like the very last concert they played before they died. For those of you who don't know, like they played in Phoenix, and then they were on their way to the show in California that same night, and a wrong way driver hit them and crashed into them. It was like a fiery crash and everyone died. It's like really sad, and I like always think about that concert. I loved like all of their songs. They were just so incredibly talented. They were so young too. They were like in their mid-20s. Honestly, that fucked me up for a while. Like that, I heard about that the next day, and I was kind of in a funk for like a week after that. It's like, I don't know the band, you know, I wasn't, and they weren't one of my favorite bands, but just like knowing that like you were, you know, 10 feet away from someone and then like the next day they're dead is like a very scary thing to think about. It makes death seem a lot closer to you, you know? It made me realize like anyone can die, which is like sounds very basic, but I don't know. And also too, I got in like 2 minor fender benders this summer, and I've had just like massive driving anxiety, and I always am like afraid I'm gonna die every time I get in my car, which is great because I'm making a video on my phone as I'm driving right now, which is totally safe and totally helps me with that problem. I don't know how anyone could ever love me when I don't love myself, but I'm trying hard to figure it out, but I just don't know. Oh my god, this is one of my favorite songs of the year. Like, so relatable. I don't know how anyone could ever love me if I don't love myself. Bars. Fucking bars. That is just like the most relatable thing ever. And Breakup Shoes is actually a local band from Tempe, and I feel like they're starting to make it big. I heard them play at, I want to say they opened for No Vacation when I saw them this summer, and they were just so good. Like Unrequited Love and Other Cliches, when I heard that song for the first time at their concert, it made me cry. And like, I never cry at shows, you know, I never, like, even if a song means a lot to me, I usually don't cry at a concert, but like that song made me cry. They're really good. They're such a good band. So I would definitely recommend listening to Breakup Shoes.